Welcome to r/Choosingbeggars, where someone offers to pay with imaginary passionate hugging. Hey, is this still Blank's number? Who's this? Blank. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Blank. I live in the cul-de-sac on Midview Plaza. If this is Blank, we went to school together. Oh, yeah, lol, sorry, I'm bad AF with names. Mood. Hey, chances you're free tomorrow and are willing to go with my boyfriend and I to a convention in Maryville/Knoxville? I can give gas money and pay for food if you're free. Our ride fell through last minute and we've been looking forward to it for months. The con itself is free admission and some vendors have free things too. Sorry bro, my bathroom sink is leaking like a mother effer and my uncle won't be free until tomorrow afternoon to fix it. I've been up since 6 a.m. and I can't go to sleep because I have to empty the bucket every 30 minutes. So as soon as he gets here, I'm crashing for the next 12 hours. Sorry about your ride falling through, and I hope you can get someone to replace them. That effing sucks, I'm sorry. I really hope so too, LMAO. At this point, I'm pretty sure we're so stressed out over this all going wrong that my boyfriend and I will probably end up breaking up if this doesn't work out. So fingers crossed it turns out, okay? Ha. Hey, sorry to bother you with it, but we have a cat that we've been trying to find a home for. She's lived most of her life feral and we just can't handle her. She's kind of a jerk. Would you guys want her or know anyone who would? She's a tortie and around like 5 or 6 months tops. Sorry bro, I got 14 cats so I can't take her. Good luck getting her a home. I would recommend some cat Facebook groups. You're more likely to get someone who's willing to put in the work for a feral cat. Okay. Also, if you guys have any light gray kitties or calicos you want to get a different home for at some point, let us know. My boyfriend had a calico kitten who was put to sleep against his will, and his ex-boyfriend killed his gray kitten, so he's been on the lookout for them for a while. Hey, do you have a laptop you'd be willing to lend us with the assumption we'd either give it back or pay you for it once we could? Blank's laptop is completely busted and he needs it for work and we can't afford a new one right now. Sorry bro, only have my desktop that I use for work and personal use. Okay. Can I use you as a reference on job applications? No, we haven't spoken in like 5 years. It would be a bad reference. Fair enough, ha. Would you or your mom be free and able to watch a puppy for a few hours? Sorry, mom has work and I'm busy today. That's okay, we figured out something for him. Are you gonna be free at all today, by the way? It's my birthday and I'd love to chat for a bit if you can. Happy birthday, but sorry, I have a lot that needs to get done before work tomorrow. That's alright. I've got to respect these people for being so patient. I've never seen a choosing beggar keep their cool after so many rejections. And OP, I would have blocked this person like 20 messages ago. Dear Tooth Fairy, please do not take my tooth. Please give me money. Signed 2019. Don't worry, Tooth Fairy, I can pay you in exposure. I'll tell all the other kids at elementary school how great you are. I do not understand why when you want someone to take pictures of you, they insist payment. I just want a decent picture of me and my child, and I don't want to have to pay someone for it. Now anyone with an effing camera thinks they have a career and it's infuriating. I will not pay you $75 to take 5 pictures of me and my child. I won't. That's ridiculous. Lady, why don't I buy you a selfie stick so you can shove it up your butt? Can you draw anything? Almost anything. What about sexy things? Yeah, I can. Can you draw me something sexy? I can. What do you want? I want a sexy girl in a maid outfit. Full body or thigh up? Fully shading or a flat? Full body and whatever makes it sexy. Okay, that'll be $85. Wait, what? For the drawing, it'll cost $85. I don't have $85. Oh, I see. I can do a thigh up for $65. I don't have any money. Is there any other way? Other way? Not sure, I only do it for money. What about something that starts with S and ends with X? I'm sorry? Passionate hugging? Yeah. How would that work? We can imagine us doing it. That doesn't support me at all. It takes me hours to draw something. Please, man, I'll do anything you want. Pay for my art so I can eat? Forget it. I don't have any money, so forget it. I don't understand why this girl is broke. Why can't she just become an imaginary prostitute and have imaginary passionate hugging with a bunch of Johns and just get money to pay for the art? Wouldn't that work? So, a few years back, my wife and I moved cities so she could enjoy some better job opportunities after she finished studying. We scouted out houses and wound up buying one when our initial intention was to rent for a while. New city was much cheaper than old city. I had to stay back in our old city to give notice at work and settle our affairs, while my wife moved to the new city to start her new job. So she winds up setting up all the utilities and getting the house ready. Now, my wife works some of her job remotely, so internet is a must-have for us. So we get the big unlimited package and it's all up and running by the time I get there. Now, unbeknownst to me, the internet/cable van has attracted the attention of a stay-at-home mom that lived next door. She gets to talking to my wife and laments that it's taking the cable company forever to fix her internet. My wife, who is looking to make friends in the neighborhood, offers her a password to our Wi-Fi until she gets hers fixed, which should just be a couple more weeks. Anyhow, I arrive and start my new job. Transfer, so same stuff, different city. None the wiser that we have a leech sucking our Wi-Fi. Now, the internet is occasionally slow. Netflix runs at a lower resolution, but I chalk it up to our provider being an evil conglomerate that enjoys breaking your spirit slowly. So, besides the occasional complaint to friends about the amount we pay for what we're getting, I don't spend too much time thinking about it. Learn from me, people. Don't be apathetic like me, kids. Look into why your internet sucks. Now, about 9 months later, the wife and I are out of town visiting family. My wife is in the shower when her phone rings. I answer with, "Wife's phone, husband speaking." It's the neighbor lady. She wants to know where we are. I usually don't tell people that we're out of town, but we're neighbors, so I say we're away for the weekend. She sounds pretty exasperated and tells me that there's been a power surge or outage or something and that the internet has stopped working. I tell her that sucks, maybe she should contact her cable company if her internet has stopped. But she corrects me that it's my internet that stopped working. I'm confused at this point, but my wife is out of the shower, so I mute the phone for a minute and we chat about it. My wife does that surprise Pikachu face and the whole story comes out. This woman and her family have been using our internet for almost an entire year. I unmute the phone just in time for a now angry neighbor lady to demand to know where we keep the spare key so she can reset the modem/router. I actually laughed at her. I'm not letting you into my house. You've been stealing Wi-Fi for almost a year now. You've had a good run. Get your own freaking internet, lady. She gets angrier and angrier. I can't remember everything that was said, but she definitely burned up any goodwill my wife and I might have had. Now, we have cameras for our house, but without the internet, they were only going to be recording to the hard drive, not the cloud storage we could see remotely. This woman was sounding a bit unhinged, and I could hear her kids complaining loudly in the background. So, while she's putting one of her spawn on the phone to try and guilt trip me, my wife uses my phone to call a friend who does have a spare key to go around and check it out. This friend has some insane family, so she understands and heads over. I've long since hung up on the neighbor lady when he calls me to say that when he arrived, her and the 4 kids were busy searching our front yard for a keystone. We don't have one. He told them to leave, and she and the kids became very irate until he pointed out the camera and told her he was happy to call the cops. Our friend reset the router and the cameras, but left the Wi-Fi switched off. When we came home, I promptly changed the name of the Wi-Fi to Get Your Own Wi-Fi. Changed all the passwords and made sure that the only devices connected were ours. The internet is great now. I still complain about the evil conglomerate, and while we've had a couple run-ins with the neighbor lady, all I have to do is threaten to upload the attempted break-in video and she leaves us alone. OP, if you have that video, please get in touch with me. I would love to show that video of her searching your front yard on my YouTube channel. Let's put this choosing beggar in her place. Our next Reddit post is from Fancy Feast. I wanted to join in on the Wi-Fi fun. This is my choosing beggar story. This was about 12 years ago. I was 13 years old at the time, and me and a couple of my neighborhood friends would play Halo 3 online. My next door neighbor, who at the time didn't have internet connection, felt left out, and me being the good friend I am, offered him my Wi-Fi password so we can join in. A week passes, and he complains the internet is slow as he lives on the 4th floor of his apartment and I live in a 2-floor home. He then asks me to ask my parents to upgrade our plans so he can go get faster speeds. I laughed and said no. Fast forward a week, and me and 5 of my neighborhood friends are in an Xbox Live party, including Choosing Beggar. And one of my other friends mentions it was nice that I let Choosing Beggar run a 100-foot Ethernet cable to my router. I'm confused. As Choosing Beggar is telling him to shut up, I go upstairs to check. The router was in my brother's room next to the window. This mother effer bought a 100-foot cable to run from his room in the attic to my brother's upstairs room. He did this while I was away and told my parents I let him do this. So at this point I'm furious and all my friends are laughing, including Choosing Beggar. So as he's laughing, I grab a pair of scissors and snip his cable and throw it in the backyard and change my Wi-Fi password. He didn't play with us for 2 months until he finally convinced his parents to get internet. The torture of him listening to all of our online fun when we hung out was payback enough for me. Our next Reddit post is from Intengineer. I keep seeing other posts about their neighbors stealing Wi-Fi, and I thought I would add mine. Mine is a bit unusual. A little background. I am an uber geek. I've been an IT person since 1993 and have a lot of very high-end equipment I use at home. I purchase business-grade equipment often instead of consumer-grade equipment. More expensive, but it works a lot better and has some cool features. So when I moved into my last home we were renting, our landlord also ran a small business. He just had a single computer that he used very rarely for internet access. I was getting Fios installed into the house and told him that I would set up my equipment and then, instead of having to pay for DSL, which was very slow, he could just use my Wi-Fi because it would be super fast. So I proceed to get my Fios service, and then set up my 2 access points on different channels, but with the same name, so you can roam around the house and outside the whole yard and have great coverage. I then take my landlord's computer and connect it to my Wi-Fi, and he is just happy as happy could be. Here is where the choosing beggar comes from. As part of this, my landlord turns off his DSL and sends back the cruddy DSL router with Wi-Fi to the telephone provider. A few days later, I hear a bang 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 on my back door. I open it and find my neighbor, aka Choosing Beggar. I have a confused look. Hello, Choosing Beggar. Awkward silence. Hi, I wanted to know when you're going to get your internet fixed. My internet is working fine. Why are you in my backyard? The Choosing Beggar looks around. I always come through the backyard here. I'm friend with your neighbor on the other side, and I always walk through the backyard as a shortcut. Doesn't matter. I'm wanting. I cut him off. Don't walk through my backyard. My wife will get scared. I have a Great Dane that if she's in the backyard, she's not going to be happy with you walking in. And I don't want you to get hurt or her to get out. I don't care about your dog. I want to know why your internet is not working. My internet is working fine. In fact, I'm using it right now. Well, it's not working for me. At this point, it dawns on me what he's saying. I guess I was slow that day. I had thought he came over because his internet wasn't working, and he figured I knew why because mine wasn't working either. He was an older man and kind of gruff with his conversation skills, but it finally dawns on me at this point. Me, to make sure, I ask him to clarify. Are you saying your internet isn't working? And are you wondering if mine isn't working also? No, my internet was working fine until a few days ago. Now, the Wi-Fi that I used to connect to isn't there anymore. But I see a really strong other Wi-Fi named Redacted. Ah, I see. The Wi-Fi that you used to connect to was the landlord's name Wi-Fi for his business. I didn't know he gave you the password. But he no longer has that service. The only Wi-Fi left in this house is mine. I see. Well, thank you for making the Wi-Fi a lot better. I used to hardly get a signal before, but now when I look at Wi-Fi's in this area, I see a full 5 bars from your new one. That is great. I just need the new password. I'm not giving you my Wi-Fi password. You need to get your own internet service. What? You have to. I had the old Wi-Fi password. You have to give me your Wi-Fi password. No, I don't. I pay for the internet connection here. I'm not giving you my Wi-Fi password. That's not fair. F you. I'm going to call landlord and tell him he needs to kick you out. Have fun with that. By the way, stay out of my backyard, or I'm going to let my dog out next time and call the cops. So I close the door and he's just fuming at me, and watch through the window as he marches out of the backyard to his backyard. Of course, he doesn't close the fence all the way, so I go out there in a few minutes and close it. I also pick up my phone and call my landlord to let him know what's going on. My landlord tells me he didn't even know that the neighbor was using his Wi-Fi. Anyway, the story doesn't end there. A few days later, I start getting notifications from my access points that someone is trying to break in. This is another great feature of the business class equipment that I have. It sends me a notice that a device at a certain MAC address is trying to use a program to guess my password. Being an uber geek, my Wi-Fi password is 15 characters long with upper, lower, and numbers. So he's probably not guessing it anytime soon. Just to be on the safe side, I actually block his Mac from connecting to my access points at all, and also disable the broadcasting of the name. That weekend, I'm out in my front yard with my laptop doing some work. My neighbor sees me and starts talking to me much more friendly this time. I noticed that your Wi-Fi is no longer online. I guess that landlord made you take it down, eh? Serves you right. I look at him with a bit of a confused face because I'm working on my laptop, which obviously means I would be connected to some type of Wi-Fi, but I guess he doesn't think that way. No, it's working fine. I talked to landlord and he just laughed when I told him the story. I'm not seeing your Wi-Fi anymore, so I know you're lying. I changed it so that it's not broadcasting the name anymore. That way, you can't keep trying to break into it. It was sending me emails that you were trying. The Choosing Beggar sputters. That wasn't me. It probably was someone else. Anyway, you should give me your password. It's not fair that I used to use the old Wi-Fi here and now I can't use the new one. It's not fair or legal that you were stealing the Wi-Fi that used to be here. By the way, I put up a camera in my backyard just to make sure you don't try to go through there again. If I see that you've been in my backyard, I'll be turning over the footage to the police as you would be trespassing and I'll press charges. F you. He ended up walking back into his house while I was still in the front yard. I would run across him from time to time after that, walking on the sidewalk in front of my house to get to his friend's house on the other side, always glaring at me. I just waved and laughed. I talked to his friend one day about the whole situation, and he told me that the Choosing Beggar had come to him and complained I wouldn't give him my password. And he told the Choosing Beggar to buy his own internet connection and stop being a cheapskate. That was rSlash/Choosingbeggars. And if you like my content, I'd just like to remind you that I also have a podcast where I put these videos into podcast form. If you want to listen to my podcast, you can find the link down in the description of this video.